on stage, Dr. Kharge, Shri, Shri, and ladies and gentlemen, and the rest of the dignitaries who are present here, very good evening to all of you. Namaskar. Sir, I'm sorry I'm late. Usually I try to be as punctual as possible because I know how the corporates differ. But my other portfolio, just like how the IT, BD and electronics department works precisely as per the industry standards, the other portfolio that I have as the Panchayat Raj and rural development is exactly the other end of spectrum, which is extremely erratic. So that's it. I think you can give it. Get it, huh? They can't get it. Now?
Yes.
Yeah, so my other department, like I said, Panchayat Raj and RDPR is extremely erratic. So what starts at one end, what's supposed to end at one end, ended up at three. So that's why I'm a little late. So I'm really sorry for that. And most importantly, yesterday was a very important day for all of us. So wish you all a very, very happy Rajyotsava. It was the 68th Rajyotsava. More importantly, it was the 50th year that Karnataka became Karnataka. So earlier it was called the state of Mysore, and post unification, the state of Mysore was renamed as Karnataka, and that's yesterday was the 50th year of that naming, change of name. And wish all of us more luck and more fortune for the sake of all of us. So the reason why I brought that up was Mysuru are always blessed with good administrators. I come from Kalburgi. How many of you have gone to Kalburgi? Has anybody seen Kalburgi? You've not gone at all. Okay, I didn't expect so many hands. Anyway, so we were ruled by the Nizams. That is the state of Hyderabad. And Kalburgi, Bidar, around, we were at the fringe, at the edge of the Nizam's kingdom, so he never really bothered about us. So we were always badly administered, and that's why we had to take Article 371, wherein we get reservations in education and government jobs, and special impetus in funds for infrastructure, so that we can be as good as my students. So we can be as bright as you people. So, having said that, the reason I brought it up was the entrepreneurship spirit that we speak about in Karnataka is at various levels. It's not only in Bengaluru. Every region of Karnataka has its own special status of entrepreneurship, the spirit of doing business, the history of trade and commerce, and especially Mysore. So I'm sure the people of Mysore and the people from the south of Karnataka know Mr. Mirza Ismail. He was the Diwan of the state of Mysore under the Wadiyars. In 1930, he made a quote. He quoted saying that we are proud of the product of these factories. Mysoreans wash themselves with Mysore soap, dye themselves with Mysore towels, clothe themselves in Mysore silks, ride Mysore horses, and eat the abundant Mysore food, drink Mysore coffee with Mysore sugar, equip their houses with Mysore furniture, light them with Mysore lamps, and write letters on Mysore paper. Yeah. This was in 1930. So, not before all these slogans came, Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Karnataka was already vocal for local. And this hub for PSUs and the hub for manufacturing over a period of so many years. Similarly, so was the Bengaluru region, and it is considered like a distant cousin for Mysore. Most of the that was like the finance capital. So if you see that 7 of the country's biggest banks came from this region, from this belt. The Hon'ble belt and Mysore belt, the Canara Bank, State Bank of Mysore, Syndicate Bank, Corporation Bank, Vijaya Bank, Karnataka Bank, Vysya Bank. So all these banks, before now we speak of being fintech capital and all that. The evolution of all these things, whether it is manufacturing, whether it's retailing, or whether it's trade and commerce, or finance, it all happened right here in your region. And somehow, I think somehow we have missed getting to the next level. Somehow we have missed accelerating, and that's exactly what we are trying to do here with the Department of IT and BT. Everybody speaks about Bengaluru being the powerhouse of technology, or Karnataka being the powerhouse of technology. Today we are the world's 4th largest technology cluster. And if we add places like Bengaluru, Mysuru, Belgavi, I'm sure it's going to jump up in the rankings. But we did not get where we are right away. It took us a very long time. It took us more than close to around 3 decades to become the 4th biggest technology cluster in the world. We started with being the call center of the world. So you remember from 25 years back, 30 years back, everybody who you meet, they would say they would be working at a call center. From being a call center, we moved on to IT services. From IT services, we moved to fintech services, back office operations for title processing, knowledge processing, medical processing, etc. And from there, we moved on to becoming the research and development hub for the entire world. You have to look at our ecosystem right now in Karnataka. Out of the top 500 Fortune companies, more than 400 of them have their biggest R&D centers located in Karnataka. So you see what I'm trying to say, right from being merely operations, picking up the phone and saying like, how may I help you, we moved on to being a knowledge-based society for our research and development. Now we are, most of the research that is happening across sectors, across the world, is happening in Karnataka. From being an R&D ecosystem, now we are slowly moving on to an innovation and invention ecosystem, the startup ecosystem. Although a lot of people say that we are great in innovation and inventions, I think we have a lot to achieve. There's so much of appetite in Karnataka, so much of appetite with us Indians that I think we can easily quadruple this in the next decade, by the end of next decade. Karnataka is already heading towards that. We are already first in the Indian Innovation Index. We are first in service exports. We are first in foreign direct investment with close to around 38%. With 40% share, we are number 1 in electronics design in India. In machine tools manufacturing, we are 52%. In aerospace and defense manufacturing, we are 65%. Karnataka is currently exporting close to around $4.52 billion in electronics alone. The biotech production and services, 60% of the share is of the country is from Karnataka. We have 1/3 of India's tech talent. 1/3 of India's tech talent. That is like huge. And we have close to around 25,000 startups that are in our ecosystem. Close to around 15,000 startups are just registered with Government of Karnataka. With over 140 accelerators and incubators, we have 43 unicorns in Karnataka and 47 sunicorns, that is soon to be unicorns. Last year we raised close to around $64 billion in venture capital, and our startup ecosystem is worth close to around $200 billion. So all these are, if you see these numbers, these are not my numbers, these are numbers that are coming up from the ecosystem itself. These are numbers that are being validated by other governments and the government of India as well. So we need to ensure that we stimulate this further. So how do we do this is by taking innovation, research, skills, talent, everything outside Bengaluru across Karnataka. And that's exactly what we are trying to do. I mean, I'm very clear in what I want to do. The government is clear in what it wants to do. We are trying to do 4 or 5 very simple things. Number one, skills. The government of Karnataka is extremely serious about skill development. We are trying to ensure that Karnataka caters to the globe. Now, I am not kidding when I say this. Recently I was in the Bay Area. Myself and Dr. Ekrup and other people had been to San Francisco. We had close to around 44, 45 meetings. And every boardroom that we went to, every boardroom that we sat in, and every discussion we had told one thing. They asked only one thing. We need skills. And India is the only one who can deliver. And in India, Karnataka is the only place we can look for such skills. I'm not joking when we said that. Because I was talking to, there was Mr. JC used to work earlier with Intel. So I met a few people in Intel Jessica. So they were telling me that they require close to around, America requires close to around 1 million chip designers in the next 5 years. And the only ones who can deliver it is not China, but India. And in India, it is only Karnataka. I was very clear with them. I told them, you give me a curriculum, you give me the syllabus that you want. It's my duty to train. We will train. Karnataka, the government of Karnataka is willing to do that. We have set up a skill advisory council, which I am heading, along with the Ministry of Skill Development. We could have formed a skill advisory council along with the officers. But if I want to enthuse the industry, if I want the industry to take our government seriously, that saying that this particular department is extremely serious about skill development, it is I who have to talk to them. I am heading it to infuse confidence in the industry, saying that I am listening to you. The government of Karnataka is listening to you, the department is listening to you, and we will deliver on whatever skill sets you want. For the first time in the country, we have a skill advisory council for emerging technology. So right from agriculture to aerospace, if the industry comes up and says that, Priyank, I want this skill set to be, I need 500 engineers trained in aerospace, I want 200 engineers trained in marine biotech, I am ready to do it. 50% my cost, 25% your cost, 25% graduate cost. And even the 25% graduates cannot pay, I will pay. So this kind of skill development program is not available in India. We are working on it. Trust me, Karnataka is no longer catering to the Bengaluru ecosystem. It's no longer catering to the Indian ecosystem. We are catering to the world. We are the only ones who can cater to the world. I am of the strong belief that only we can do that. Because our human resource that we have in Karnataka is highly talented, highly agile. The willingness to learn is much, much more than any other state. That is something that I can bet on. The second important thing that we are doing is, like Divya mentioned, we are creating centers of excellence. So in my previous tenure, we have created centers of excellence in IoT, deep tech, cybersecurity, agri-innovation, data science and AI, aerospace, semiconductor fabrics, machine intelligence, robotics and animation. And by the end of this financial year, we will be having more centers of excellence that will be for fintech. We have a gaming accelerator, we have one COE for manufacturing, we have one for wireless and wireless products, we have one for health science and medtech, we have a biotech accelerator. A lot of people complain from the biotech industry saying that the startups are getting enough boost from, but post the startup to getting a Series A, that accelerator is not there, that push is not there. So we're coming up with a biotech accelerator, we're coming up with a gaming accelerator, and if the wise people over here sitting think that no, we need to do one more COE in any of the sectors that you think requires a push from the government, we're ready to do that also. And these centers of excellence will not be run by the government. It is just government funded, we make a policy around it, we make rules and regulations around it, and we run by the industry people. Because they are not the experts. I am 100% sure if you allow me to run a center of excellence, first of all, it won't be a center with excellence company. Because then only like Mr. Wright said, more politics will happen than actual work. So these centers of excellence will create. The idea of creating these centers of excellence is so that we can nurture leadership in the sector. We can nurture talent in the sector. We can nurture and incubate innovation and inventions in the sector. The idea is to have tomorrow's inventions today. And where, if the impact that needs to be made at the global level, I want it first made in Karnataka. Not even making India. First making India. Whenever Karnataka is prospered, India is prospered. So the idea is to ensure that if an innovation that is done in Karnataka, I'm sure it's going to have a great impact for not only the nation's progress but also for the world. So the centers of excellence is a very, very key cog in our scheme of things. The third important thing, which I think the startups will appreciate and smaller companies will appreciate, is that we are trying to create a global innovation alliance. So we are partnering with close to around 33 countries, and our intention is to go to at least 50 countries by next year. So how does the Global Innovation Alliance help you? So we are partnering with various countries so that our startups, our companies over here can get to network with companies abroad. They get market access abroad. So that we will be able to have your local product at a global level if it is feasible. These are the things that no other state government will offer you. These are the things that no other government will license for you. So with our Global Innovation Alliance, it's not only exchanging of ideas with other ecosystems, it's not only networking with other systems, but also trying to see if we can create specific economic corridors for startups. So with the Netherlands, we can create a cybersecurity corridor. With Australia, we're talking if we can have a marine biotech corridor. With USA, we are seeing if we can have more global capability centers for India. So we are trying to see how we can, with every country, we will have a specific corridor which will benefit both ecosystems. Even they can come here and have market access. After all, here also 1 billion people, everybody will have to sell their product to India today or tomorrow. So the idea is if the gateway to Indian markets is through Karnataka, why not? And if the gateway to access 50 countries markets is through the Department of IT, why not? So this Global Innovation Alliance is also a great initiative by us. And the fourth, another important thing which I think which most of the manufacturers in the tier 2 towns will really appreciate is we are trying to create a very, very conducive environment for businesses beyond Bengaluru. We are coming up with new policies that will ensure that more subsidies, more incentives are given to people who believe in the talent that is available in the rural areas, in the tier 2 towns, who are ready to put their money, invest their money in tier 2 towns, put their faith in these people, help them groom their nurture their talent, hold their skills, and give them a job, and in the meanwhile, you prosper as well. So this Beyond Bengaluru initiative, which is being done by the government of Karnataka through KDEM, is a very, very important initiative for us. And like how all of them over here spoke, that we need to ensure that more of us come to these places. It makes a difference when the ecosystem, when people sitting on the stage come to Belgavi, Hon'ble, Kharge, Mysuru. It shows that the government is serious. It shows that the government is serious if I am here, if I show up. So Mr. Naidu was telling me that you have to make time and come. I don't have to make time, sir. It's my job to come. I've been voted. I've been made a minister so that I can do this. So it is my prime responsibility to be here. Although if it's a bit late, I'm sorry again. But having said that, so it is important that the government's focus be here, and my focus is here as well. And lastly, the most important, one of the most important things is also we are trying to see ease of doing business along with that, but sector-specific ease of doing business. But more interesting thing that will enthuse all of you over here is we're trying to see if I can come up with a preferential public procurement policy. So what is this preferential public procurement policy? So you saw Vidwan, right? Vidwan, Vidwan. So Vidwan, made in Karnataka, except for the motherboard, I think everything is made in Karnataka. He's got quality content. He's been investing in tier 2 town. How is it, if government comes up with a policy saying that you are registered with the government of Karnataka, you are registered with a startup cell, you have invested in a Beyond Bengaluru initiative of the government of Karnataka, can government of Karnataka be your first customer? So if we are able to help with one, saying that, okay, you need a pilot to check on your content, you need a pilot how this works in rural areas, please go ahead and just do it in any of the government schools that you want. We will support you. So imagine ecosystem, imagine a government policy that ensures that your product, your services, which has a unique IP. Of course, you can't put all the services within the government. You can't take all the products. If you have, he says he has 6 IPs, that's evaluating. If it is good enough, why not go for a pilot? And if you are going for a digital smart class, let's say the budget is say around 1 crore, we reserve close to around 10% or 5% of that budget for startups, for that particular services, for that particular products. So this preferential public procurement policy, I'm sure, will help a lot of startups. The reason we can't do even a policy which will ensure that everything is given to startups, but that's not the way it is, because we have to understand whether you can scale or not. We have to see how your product works within the environment. If you need a pilot, we can give you a sandbox environment for you to do the trials in. So these 4 or 5 initiatives that I said, whether it's skilling, center of excellence, ease of doing business, beyond Bengaluru policy, or your public procurement policy that we spoke about, these 4 or 5 initiatives is what the government of Karnataka is going to focus on. And it's very simple, because we understand how difficult it is to be a startup. We understand the journey of an entrepreneur. We know it's not an easy thing. Entrepreneurs don't fly with the wind, they go against the wind. That's how airplanes take off. Whether the wind is with you or against you, you still have to do what you have to do, take off. And the government of Karnataka is interested in ensuring that you have a great takeoff. So, I won't take much of your time. I think it's already 6:30. I thought you were giving me a chip to stop talking. so I get the point. So basically, these are some of the initiatives that we are trying to help startups. It's a new government. You know, one thing that we are doing, previous government is not doing, previous government did not do, we are doing one simple thing. We are listening. And we are listening to you. We are listening to understand what you require. So, as ecosystem, if Mysuru thinks that there is something that is amiss from the government of Karnataka, if you think, no, Priyank, I think you need to set up an incubator here for startups, please let me know. I will do that. If you tell me, no, you need a, let's say you need a manufacturing incubation, you do that. You need a biotech incubation, we do that. But just as earlier my colleagues told, that let's have everybody's skin in the game. Just like how you are expecting us to do something, you help us also do. We don't understand these things. If you ask me how the technologies that you speak about, I'm not even understand. I just want my head to look smart. But ultimately, if you people also partner with the government of Karnataka to ensure that the ecosystem flourishes, it will be great. It will be, we can accelerate it. Only if the government does it, it will take time. It will accelerate. It will take its own time to accelerate. But if it is industry driven, by the industry, for the industry, then I'm sure that the acceleration will be faster and will be able to help more people. Ultimately, any government's intention is to help as many people as it can. And if we need to do that, we need to be collaborative in nature. I cannot say that I am the government, I will just do this one and this is what it is, you take it or leave it. That era is gone. People are working with other collaborative methods. If you don't want to work with the ecosystem here, any ecosystem is going to welcome an innovation. There is no more geographically bound. So, but the idea is to ensure that more startups come out from here, more services come out of here, more products come out of here, and the government of Karnataka is going to ensure that we will do that. So I request each one of you here who are present here to feel free to give out your ideas. We have KDEM here, we have our Director IT, Mr. Darshan, we have Dr. Wright here, I am there, and of course you know a lot of people here, they say that it's only 6 degrees of separation. So somewhere you get to know somebody who knows us. So please feel free to reach out and tell us what you would require for the Mysore ecosystem to take off in a better way. Also, if I would suggest if Mr. Darshan can have a relook at the booster kit for Tier 2 towns. We have a booster kit for the startup cell. Anybody registered to the startup cell, but if we can do something for startups that are beyond Bengaluru, so that we can give them more credits, more subsidies, more incentives, or something out of the box, or anything that you might require. In our booster kit, we'll be happy to provide that. So, as lastly, as you're aware, we are having the Bengaluru Tech Summit by the end of November, 29th, 30th, and we have a special pavilion for Weird Bengaluru startups, and all of you here are invited to participate in that. I'm sure that your participation will definitely catch the eye of a lot of people who come there. I mean, it's a great place to network, it's a great place to get to know each other, it's a great place to meet VCs, it's a great place to collaborate, it's a great place of learning, to see how your product or your services can be exchanged with other ecosystems as well. So it will be one of its kind. It's Asia's biggest tech summit that is done by a government. So it will be great, and it will be my pleasure to host all of you over there in Bengaluru for the Bengaluru Tech Summit. And if there's anything that you need for that, Mr. Priyank is here, who is going to, from MMAC, who anchors this entire thing for the Department of IT. So if there's anything that you need, you can reach out to KDEM or him directly. And I'd like to re-say once again, reinforce the fact that the government of Karnataka is here to listen. The government of Karnataka is here to learn. The government of Karnataka is here to adapt to whatever you require to ensure that you succeed. Because in your success lies the success of Karnataka. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, sir, for the fantastic talk. We're all enthused, and I'm pretty sure
ಇದು ರೈಟ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್.